Okay, usually when you're answering these loci questions, you can get a clue for how much work you need to do by the number of marks that are awarded for it. This is worth 3 marks. There's usually 3 things you're going to have to do. So if we take a look at the question, the first thing is that P is equidistant from points A and B. So that's job 1. Equidistant from 2 points, if you remember, is the perpendicular bisector. So you get your compass, open it out over halfway between A and B, draw an arc above and an arc below, and then move your compass to B and repeat. So equidistant from A and B is going to be somewhere on this line. It's also telling us that it's 4 centimeters from the line BC. Well, that's a parallel line. So if it's 4 centimeters from the line BC, then we need to draw a 4 centimeter parallel line in that direction, but it could also be a 4 centimeter parallel line above. So we need to plot one above there as well. So you can see there, I need to extend this line a little bit further, that there are going to be 2 places that P could be. P could be there, but P could also be there. Either of those points is in exactly the same distance from A as it is to B, and it's also 4 centimeters from the line BC. 4 centimeters there, or 4 centimeters there. Moving on to the second question then. Oops. What we have here are 3 marks again, and this 3 marks, you've got one construction to draw. The points are nearer to BC than to AB. Well, BC is a line and AB is a line, so that's an angle bisector. You get your compass, point on B, mark on each line, then move your compass to where you've just crossed and draw a further 2 arcs. So there's your first mark. That's the points that are nearer to BC than to AB. Then it's also saying the points are less than 6 centimeters from A. Well, that's from a point, so fixed distance from a point is a circle. So we're going to open this up now to a radius of 6, put the point on A, and draw our part of the circle. So that's part 2. Now what this question is saying is shade the region that satisfies both of the following conditions. The points are nearer to BC than to AB. So if they're closer to BC than to AB, they're below the green line. And if they're less than 6 centimeters from A, they're inside this circle. So we're interested in the region that's below the line and inside the circle. So that's going to be below the line and inside the circle is that region there. So for these 3 marks, the first mark is for the angle bisector, the second mark is for the circle, and the final mark is for shading in the region that satisfies both of those things. Anywhere inside there is going to be closer to BC than to AB, and also less than 6 centimeters from A. Okay, question 3. Shade in the region of the points inside the triangle ABC which satisfy both of the following conditions. 3 marks, so you're going to do 2 constructions and then find the right region to shade in. So the first construction, the points are nearer the point A than the point B. So this is where we're going to have to find the dividing line between A and B with the perpendicular bisector. So get your compass, open it out over halfway, arc above, oops, arc below, without changing the size of your compass, move the point to B, arc above, arc below, just make that a little bit longer, and you can see there that that line is there. It just needs to cut that shape. Or try not to get that confused in question 4. So that's part 1. The points are further from B than the distance BC. Well, what that means, further from B than the distance BC. So if I open my compass out to the distance BC and draw that circle, part of a circle, arc of a circle there, everything that's on that curve is the distance BC. So if I wanted to be further away from B than the distance BC, I need to be outside that curve. So in order to shade in, it has to be nearer to A than to B, so it has to be to the left of the perpendicular bisector, the line, and if it's further from B than the distance BC, it also needs to be outside that curve. So what we're talking about here is this region here. Okay, so that is the sort of dividing line there. Everything to the left of that is nearer to A than to B and is further from B than the distance BC. Okay, question 4. The pencil line there is not part of the construction. I don't think I've got a rubber to rub it out. So we just have to bear that in mind. Okay, so this is another 3-mark question. ABCD is a rectangle. Draw the locus of all the points inside the rectangle whose distance from AB is the same as the distance from AD. So the distance from AB is the same as the distance from AD. So that's equal distance between 2 lines. So that's a perpendicular, an angle bisector. It's a rectangle, so you could measure 45 degrees. I haven't got an angle measure handy, so I'm going to bisect it. Compass point on A, cross off each line, move, put an arc and another arc, and draw through that. So that's A. Everywhere on that line is an equal distance from AB as it is to AD. Draw the locus of all the points inside the rectangle which are 6 centimeters from DC. So an equal distance from that line would be a parallel line 6 centimeters away. So there's 6. There's 6. I'll use a different color. So everything to the left of that is less than 6 centimeters. Everything to the right of it is more than 6 centimeters. On the line is exactly 6 centimeters away from DC. And part C, draw the locus of all the points inside the rectangle whose distance from A is the same as the length AB. Whose distance from A is the same as the length AB. Well, that is going to be, here's the length AB. So everywhere that's on this arc, C, everywhere on there is exactly AB away from A. So those are the three different constructions there. There's nothing to shade on this one. Okay, they're three separate paths that we're talking about. Question 5. Enid and George hide a box in their garden. They make a map of the garden using a scale of 1 centimetre to represent 1 metre. They give the map to some friends together with the following clues. So the first clue, the box is nearer the end A of the hedge than to the end C. So we need to find where the dividing path between A and C is, which is a perpendicular bisector. Compass point on A, over halfway, arc above, arc below. So somewhere on that line. The box is nearer to the end A, so the box is going to be this side of that line. The box is less than 6 meters away from the tree marked T. So we need the distance 6 meters from a point. So that's going to be a circle. 6 meters away is going to be 6 centimeters using this scale. So open your compass to 6. Center where the tree is. And draw part of the circle. The box is nearer the garden wall AB than the hedge AC. Garden wall AB, hedge AC. We need to cut that angle in half now. Again, it's rectangular, so you could measure 45 degrees. I haven't got an angle measure handy, so I'm going to construct it. Compass point at A, arc, arc, move your compass, and repeat from both points. Okay, so we've drawn that one, we've drawn that one, we've drawn that one. Now let's use our clues to find out where we think this region is going to be. So it's nearer to A than it is to C. So it's to the left of the green line. It's less than 6 meters away from the tree, so it's inside this curve. And it's nearer to AB than it is to AC, so it's below that diagonal line. So it's this side of the green line, inside the circle, and below the red line. So the region that the thing is buried in is that part there. Just make that clear again. It's nearer to end A than to end C, so it's this side of the green line. It's less than 6 meters away from the tree, so it's inside the circle, and it's nearer to AB than it is to AC, so it's below that diagonal. So in order to get the 4 marks, that's the region that you need to shade off. And the final question that we've got on Loci is another garden map. The diagram represents 2 boundaries of Mr. Lotwick's garden. AB is a wall and AC is the edge of a stream. He wants to plant some trees in the garden so they are further than 8 meters from the stream. So that's equal distance from one line so that's a parallel line. So let's draw that. 8 meters is going to be 4 centimeters using this scale. So I want a parallel line 4 centimeters from the stream. So further than 8 meters means that this tree is going to be above that line. He also wants them nearer the wall than the stream. Nearer the wall than the stream. Well, the wall is represented by a line, the stream is represented by a line, so that's going to be an angle bisector. Compass, open it out, mark on the 2 lines, move your compass point, draw a crossing arc, and there's your second boundary. Nearer the wall than the stream means he's going to be above that diagonal line. And less than 20 meters from C. So less than 20 centimeters from C. Well, C is a point, so we need to find 20 centimeters from C, which will be part of a circle, 10 centimeters in radius. So you open your compass out, oops, gone off the screen, to 10 centimeters. Put your point on C and draw that part of the circle in there. So that is less than 20 centimeters from C, is going to be inside that curve. I think I need to keep this line going a bit further. Right, so let's see now which part of this satisfies all of those conditions. So further than 8 meters from the stream, we've got to be above the green line. So we're above the green line. Nearer to the wall in the stream is going to be above the red and above the green, and less than 20 from C is going to be inside that curve. So the region where he can plant these trees is going to be this region there. Just to clarify that again, further than 8 meters from the stream is above the green line. Nearer to the wall in the stream is above the red diagonal, and less than 20 from C is inside the curve. So the region that satisfies all three is the orange line there. So they can be quite confusing really to get the right region, but the region is only 1 mark out of 4. You should be able to get the other 3 marks for doing those constructions.